Ben Asgari is in Melbourne to talk about what's ahead. Ben, what's the weather like firstly, and then we're going to talk about the Great Mare and maybe approaching that race without her. But what's the weather in Melbourne at the moment like?
Yeah, thanks for having me on. Another picture-perfect Saturday morning in Melbourne this morning. The clear blue skies and the sun's out. I think we're expecting a top of 22 degrees, so the weather certainly isn't going to be any issue at all at Flemington today. I did have a look at the track report this morning when I got out of bed, and we're on a good fall. There's been plenty of irrigation put on this week, I think 25 mils in total, and we all know how well Flemington drains, so plenty of water's been put on. Just a few mils extra just to make sure there's some nice cushion for the Great Mare at headquarters today.
Administrators haven't made it very fun from a quaddie perspective, and that they've left the Turnbull out of the quaddie. We expect Winks to win. How can we approach race number 5 with her out? How do you see the Turnbull playing out?
Oh, look, to be honest, when she's involved, I don't try and overcomplicate things. I just think she'll win, and I tend to just go along and want to watch the race to enjoy her. A bit of a novelty getting to see her at Flemington again, only the second time, and almost certainly the last time we'll see her at Flemington in her career. It's a very good race. We know Grunt should improve sharply back to Flemington. I think the runner-up's likely to come out of Grunt and Kingsville Dream. Grunt had Kingsville Dream's measure in the Maccabi Diva Stakes a couple of starts ago, but I think Kingsville Dream will improve up to 2,000 metres. Maybe can set a little sharper, set a little closer in the run, I should say. And the other horse that has a chance of filling the multiples looks to be John Snow, who was really good in the Maccabi Diva first up, and he'll no doubt appreciate 2,000 metres. But I don't really want to overcomplicate things. I just think Winks will win, and it'll be fantastic to see.
Yeah, that's the beauty of the Great Mare and whatever race she lines up in, isn't it? She's a draw card, and you're able to put the form book down for a moment and just enjoy the spectacle and enjoy the sport for what it is. Okay, we'll pick the form book back up for race number 8, the Edward Manifold. There's a lot of New Zealand interest in it. Ribera with Baker Forsman is 80 to 1, but an expat New Zealander who's been picked up, or is now expat, has been picked up by the Darren Ware stable, Very Elegant, who is the second elect at $3.80. What have you made of what you've seen from Very Elegant, and how does she line up amongst the others in the Edward Manifold to your eye, Ben?
Well, the exposed form in this race, the Australian form, I don't think is very strong for a Group 2 Edward Manifold Stakes. When I looked at the field, I thought, okay, inside draw, John Allen on, first up to the Weir stable. This horse is going to have some improvement to come, Very Elegant, which is as much as Darren Weir said. But had a look at her recent gallop with Peaceful State. I thought she was really impressive at Ballarat. And then I went and had a look on the New Zealand Racing website and watched her replays this filly. And it's fair to say I don't think I've ever been more impressed by a couple of efforts in the New Zealand replays I've looked at for some time. Anyway, they were some stunning pieces of work. I'd be surprised if she's in top class. I think she'll measure up here. I'm willing to take the price that she can overcome the fact that she's first up from a spell and probably isn't suited by the inside draw. I think I'll be interested to hear your thoughts on her. I think she could be top class here, Very Elegant.
Everything that she's doing sectionally on the day as well, relative to others, Ben says that, yeah, she's got a lot ahead of her. How she does it on a quicker track remains to be seen, but look, I saw that track work gallop on Twitter as well, and when you're lining up against a horse like Peaceful State and staying with them and looking to do it comfortably enough, given it is only track work, then I think things bode well for her. We're very excited to see how she goes, that is for sure. To race number 9, and a horse like Invincibella stacks up in the Blazer Stakes. Savatiano, there's a lot of spruiking around it. You've got Bella Martini and Platinum Angel at $6.50 and $9. How did you line up this race for us?
Yeah, well, I'm really keen on Invincibella's chances. I thought she won impressively first up, had absolutely no luck second up, probably should have won the race. And I think she's perfectly suited from a wide draw, third up Group 2 level against her own sex at Flemington. It just looks a perfect race for her. You know, she's been performing at a really high level for 12 months or so now. She was the Magic Millions Fillies and Mares winner in January. ran some terrific races in the autumn, won at Group 2 level in the Dane Ripper in Brisbane and ran a big race in Attached Tiara. I suppose the query is, I do a statistics article on racing.com each and every Friday, and punters can jump on and have a look at some of the key statistics for the big meeting each weekend. And there's a statistic floating around for jockey Hugh Bowman, taking the 4 victories at Group 1 level on Winks in the past 2 years in Victoria aside. So discounting those, Hugh Bowman on horses that are starting $5 or shorter, so basically favourites or close to it in the market. In the past 2 years, Hugh is 1 from 40 in Victoria on those horses $5 or shorter in the market. So that's a pretty big statistic, perhaps suggesting that maybe he's got Winks firmly at the forefront of the mind. And Hugh, of course, rides Invincibella as well as Raniere today. So that's a little bit of a concern, but I'm going to back him in. I think the wide draw suits Invincibella perfectly and got her as the one to beat.
It's interesting, those jockey statistics. We've got an odds-on favourite in the Livermore, Chris Johnson, who won the premiership 2 years ago, was actually 5 from 121 this season, so he's not striking well either. So you've got 2 of the very best in respective jurisdictions having those statistics hang over them. But yeah, they're both on very strong chances. So just to summarise your best bets at Flemington there, Ben?
Yeah, I do like Invincibella in the last race. I like Very Elegant in the Edward Manifold races 9 and 8. Keen to play in the latter races of the program. And for those who want a little bit of value, I think the market's missed a couple of Lindsay Park gallopers in the UCI Stakes, which is race 4 on the program. It's 1,800 metres for the 3-year-olds. It's a traditional Derby lead-up. Going to back a couple of horses each way at the double figures from the Lindsay Park stable. One of them next to Sikorsky, a bit of a boom on him going into his debut. Disappointed in his first few starts, his son of Piero, but really impressed in maiden grade, admittedly, once he got up to 1,600 metres at Sale last start. I think 1,800 will be even better for him. Was very strong late. Double figures, I think he's over the odds. And the stablemate of Fighting Fury was a complete forgive last start. Pulled up with excuses. The run at Flemington 2 starts ago was pretty good. He's nearly $20 in the market. And I think he'll really appreciate 1,800 metres at Flemington. So we're going to have something each way on both Sikorsky and Fighting Fury from the Lindsay Park stable at good odds in race 4.